The enemy is on the loose, and he has targeted God's children. And he's throwing everything at the children of God. And we need not to be ignorant of the times and the seasons we live in. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 to the 13th verse. Ephesians chapter 6. Finally,
my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Stop there. Put on the whole armor of God. And this is where the ignorance of Christians are. We live in a dispensation of grace, but it doesn't exempt us from the evil days and times we find ourselves in. We need to fulfill all righteousness. He said, put on the whole armor of God. For those of you who have lived outside, where you have to deal with winter, you need to dress for the winter. You need a winter coat, a jacket, and so many things in winter to protect yourself. I remember the first time I went to London in 1980, 81, and I took a train from Heathrow to Paddington Station. And it was so cold and the wind was so strong that it was like somebody was chewing my ear. And I started crying. You weren't there, so you don't know what I'm talking about. And when I got to the hotel, I wouldn't come out. I got stuck in the room. When they went going to eat, I said, bring me my food here. This wind, this weather is demonic. But as years went by and I understood that there's a way you can dress and still walk in that same weather and be fine. Tell somebody, how dressed are you? Are you dressed for the season? Ask somebody, are you dressed for the season? You see, that is where the issue of Christianity and Christians are. That things happen and people start blaming and they are angry with God like I was angry with God. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to read the Bible. God is a liar. All these things they are talking about is all lies. They are playing with that. Nobody is playing with you, and God cannot lie. It's ignorance. It's your ignorance that destroys you. Your ignorance of the rules of engagement is what destroys you. When it is winter and you go wearing a summer dress around, the cold will kill you. An athlete from Nigeria went to Germany and he would jog during the winter, bare chest, well built, and he was told that, hey, you need to protect yourself. This weather is a bad weather, I can kill you. He said, no way, I'm well built. He did it a few times, he had pneumonia and he died. The weather is not the respecter of whether you're a Christian or a non-Christian. It will deal with you. He doesn't respect children of God and children of the devil. You just have to protect yourself. And we need, the Bible says, the whole armor of God, that you might be able to what? That you might be able to what?
Stand
against the wiles of the devil. There are wiles of the enemy throwing at you and I to kill, to steal, and to destroy us. Especially if you're a child of God. This season that we are in, are you well dressed for this season? Are you dressed to be able to handle the wiles of the devil? Because you see, that's where the problem is. So before you blame God, you start crying, God, why me? I'm angry with you. I won't go to church. I will read the Bible. God is a liar. You have failed me. You have, before you go into all those, your hallelujah. I said hallelujah. For you do all those your hallelujah stuff and blame God for everything. Ask yourself, am I dressed for the season? Are you dressed for the occasion? Because there are wiles of the enemy. Ephesians 6:12.
For we wrestle not against flesh and
Tell
blood.
somebody there is an ongoing wrestling. An ongoing wrestling. Tell somebody you are wrestling with something. Tell somebody you are wrestling with disembodied spirits. Tell somebody you are wrestling with persons without bodies. Yeah. They are persons without bodies. They are real, but you can't see them, but they are real. So whether you know it or not, I'm just telling you the truth. You are fighting something and say, I'm very young. The devil is not the respecter of age. Watch a movie, a true story the other day where an 18 years, I think about 17 years, who does everything right according to Bible, teaches in the children's Sunday school, living for God, refusing to have sex before marriage and everything, and had a cousin who was just fooling, sleeping around, smoking marijuana, just living a crazy life. And she rather had an appendix attack, and when they went to surgery, they realized that it was more serious than that, so they have to remove her womb so she can't have kids at the age of 17. And her other sister, who was fooling, sleeping, smoking marijuana and everything, was okay. How do you explain that? So she says, I won't go to church. I'm angry with God. God is wicked. God is bad. Why did God allow this to happen to me? How do you explain that? If we don't equip you to understand the rules of engagement, going back to Father Adam, telling them at the first service that the difference between kids here and kids abroad or the West is the fact that if your father and your mother was blessed and wealthy, it gives you a good start in life. And when you graduate from school, no matter how good or bad grades you may have, you begin with $1 million in your bank account, with an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, furnished and paid for, with your dream car paid for, with about $500,000 in your account. Compare that to another young man, a student, brilliant student, beginning life with nothing, and has to find a job, work, make money to get an apartment, much more buy the apartment and pay for it. This one is working, no pressure. They don't work for salary. They don't care about their salary. They are just working for the experience. Because they already have money, they don't need salary. This one have to work for salary to pay his mortgage, pay for his car note, take care of his family, sell some grandmother or father sitting somewhere broke, praying and expecting them to do well to remember them. So if your parents were blessed, it gives you a good start. And you can't be blamed for that. And if your parents were broke and didn't have anything, it also has its own challenges it goes with, which has nothing to do with you. It just has to do with how you came here, the means of transport you came with. Whether you came by a plane, and in the plane, whether you came business class, first class, or economy, or you came by a car, or a donkey, or a horse, or a camel. Now, this is it. All have sinned and have come short of the glory of God. Who sinned? Adam. And we are affected for his sins. What was the sin? Apart from the fact that he refused to follow God's instructions and chose to do whatever he pleased, to be independent of God. The sin of man is one, rebellion against God, independence of God. I don't need God. I can handle it myself. I'm a man of my own, a woman of my own. I can do what I want to do. But don't forget there are consequences of everything you do. There are consequences. So now, Adam ceded the dominion mandate and the rights of ownership over the earth to Satan. And then by that, God was denied the right of ownership over the earth through Adam. By Adam, he denied God the right of, because God gave it to Adam. And Adam, being God's ambassador, gives God authorization. When he ceded it to Satan, Satan then becomes the God of this world. And there's nothing God can do about it. And the only way we override Satan is by us praying. That's why when it comes to financial matters, tithing is very important, because tithe is not the money or the amount. It's the principle of acknowledgement of God's ownership over all things through you and I. That God, you gave it to me, I lost it, I'm giving it back to you. And it is when we give it back to him and acknowledge his rights of ownership, that gives him authorization to rebuke the devourer on our behalf. When we don't tithe first and we deny God of the rights of ownership by using the money any way we want to, and then after we tithe, when you don't honor him and give him the first place, he doesn't have the right of ownership, because Satan has it through Adam.